ready?
Should be on.
All right, we think we're live on Facebook. We're doing a little bit of an experiment here. Dale and I are working to see, well, really Dale is working on a new application. And one thing that we've learned about COVID-19 church, I guess it'll be its own era. One thing we've learned about that is the pastor needs a haircut. The other thing we've learned is that it's very glitchy. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. It's sort of like, what do they call it, Murphy's Law, Dale? If something can go wrong, it goes wrong when you're trying to put your church on the internet. So here's what we are doing, and I just wanted to share my heart with you. This Sunday, which will be May 24th, we are going to move back here into the sanctuary. So I'm sitting up here in the balcony where we have all of our tech stuff, and we've moved the tech stuff from down in the choir room and out by the parking lot back up into the balcony so we can have church in the sanctuary. We've got every other pew taped off. You can see a video where Emerald goes through and does the protocol that we're going to use for Sunday morning. But we've got everything ready to go for Sunday. But I wanted to let you know kind of the philosophy behind it is that I understand not everybody is ready to go back to church this Sunday. And I know some of you have been ready to come back into the building because you're tired of sitting in a hot car. Some of you guys have been ready for a month to come back in the building. So there's really no way to make everybody happy. So because we know there's no way to make everybody happy, we're going to try to make everybody just a little bit unhappy. No, I'm just kidding. What we're going to do is we're going to find a compromise. So we're going to go back in and we're going to tell people that there's no pressure. If you feel like you're not ready to come back to church, do not feel any pressure to be here. And so to make that a little bit easier so you can still kind of tune in and be in the know and not have any fear of missing out on anything, we're going to broadcast live, not only on Facebook, right, Dale? We're going to broadcast live, as we're attempting to do right now, on Facebook and YouTube in a simulcast. So we know some people don't have Facebook and they prefer to watch on YouTube. Others watch on Facebook. And we've found that our viewership on Facebook is tremendous whenever we're doing live. And Facebook makes it a little bit easier to interact on, a little bit easier, I think, for Dale to interact whenever we're doing with the people that are watching and kind of keep up with announcements that might need to be made during the service on a Facebook broadcast. So we're attempting to simulcast. So Dale, is it working so far? Have you been able to test it? Okay, so currently we are broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. So this is kind of our test run. And so we're looking forward to being able to bring this new feature on Sunday. And then so that'll be, you could watch it live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and then you could go back and watch it anytime you wanted to on Facebook and YouTube. And we're able to do this from the same computer thanks to this application that Dale was able to find called Caster. So if you're watching this and your church wants to do that, it's CASTOR. CASTOR is the name of the app that allows to do the simulcast. There's a free 7-day trial, and then I think it's about $10 a month to do that. So that really is amazing that application is that inexpensive, that'll give us this feature that we've been looking for. So I'm excited about that. I'll tell you a story. One of the haircuts I can remember, right before we did one of our anniversaries, I went to a barbershop in Arlington needing a haircut while the kids and Melissa were shopping. And I walked into this barbershop, and I didn't realize that it was actually African-American barbershop. I was the only Caucasian that was in there. And so I went in there, and they kind of looked at me like, hey, what's going on here? But they were awesome guys, and they were both the guys that were cutting hair. If I tell you this story, Dale, they were both preachers. So they found out I was a preacher, so we had our preacher bond. And I noticed the whole time they were cutting hair, they were preaching to everybody in the barbershop. But they said, "Are you on TV?" And I said, "No, I'm not on TV." And he said, "Well, we got a special haircut we give to TV preachers." And I said, "Well, I'm on YouTube." And he said, "All right, we're going to get you YouTube ready." So I've always remembered that. So not only now I'm going to have to get a haircut one of these days so I can be YouTube ready and Facebook ready when we go live on Sunday. And I'm looking forward to the service. Will be pretty scaled down. We're going to preach and pray and sing. in that order, or I guess we'll pray and preach and sing in that order. We're going to sing last, just kind of ease into that, and we won't sing for as long. But these are baby steps as we go into something, like we did with the trailer. With the first week on the trailer, we started out just Melissa and me singing. We had no sound system. We just had, I think, 1 or 2 microphones. And it was just a baby step. And then the next week we added more, and the next week we added more, and the next week we added more. So we're going to do that as we re-enter the building. And I'm sure as we go for several weeks, we'll add to the praise team. More people will feel confident coming back in as we go through the summer. And we don't really know what the future holds. We still want to do something special for our graduates and would love to recognize them. We weren't able on Mother's Day to do our baby dedications. We want to do those things, but we're going to have to be patient. And I think if everybody will just be patient for just a few months, not only will our church open up, but I think the rest of Olney will open up, and Wichita Falls and Graham. And I think we just kind of have to go slow through this and to still remember that we want to socially distance. Listen, don't come in here and give everybody a hug. Now, I know you want a hug, and I want to hug you. And I know it's very hard for us to think about not hugging, not shaking hands. And a lot of people might be cool with that. And you could be like, can I hug you? Can I shake your hand? Here's the deal. If you ask me if I can give you a hug or you can give me a hug, I'm going to tell you no, because it doesn't bother me to disappoint you. I make a career out of it. The problem is a lot of people, if you ask them, can I hug you or can I shake your hand, they're going to say yes, even if they don't really want to shake hands. And so what they'll do the next week is they'll just decide not to come back to church. So what we don't want to do is create a church who's watching at home, who just, doesn't want to be around those people who refuse to follow the rules, and then people that come in here and don't follow the rules. We want everyone to come in here and follow the rules so everybody feels comfortable, because what we don't want is any disunity in our church. And so the way that we can promote unity the best is if those who feel more freedom, those who don't mind shaking hands and hugging and things like that, if you guys who have just a stronger conscience in that area, those of you who have more freedom in that area, I need you to set aside your freedoms when you come in here, because we want to maintain unity in the body. And so we're doing some things to make everybody feel a little bit more safe. We're going to take your temperature here, give you a squirt of hand sanitizer, usher you in and usher you out. And just think of yourself. I've said it's like Lewis and Clark or Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong going to the moon. Somebody's got to go in first and kind of get the process going. In 200 years, moon tourism is going to look a lot different than landing on the moon in 1969, but somebody's got to be first. So we're going to start this thing off understanding not everybody's going to feel comfortable being here. It's going to be tough for parents. So if you've got little ones, I understand why you might not want to come in the building. That's okay. We'll have a cry room set up down in Rosalie's Sunday school class, and if you need to step out and go in there if you're feeling uncomfortable, if your child, I'm going to try to preach short sermons, and I'll tell you one thing, when you have kids in the room, it does help you preach shorter sermons. But whatever you feel most comfortable with, understanding we don't have a nursery, and that's something that we normally love to offer, not only for parents, but the kids love it too. So I know things are going to be different, so you do what you feel comfortable with. We don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. We want you to feel like you're safe here. We want you to feel like if you don't quite feel safe, or your conscience doesn't allow you to come and you stay home, that's fine. We know this is strange, and that's why we're trying to accommodate with Facebook and YouTube and recording it. And thankfully, we've been doing YouTube Live. You can go back and look at, I think, Dale, I think you can almost find every single sermon I've preached on the internet somewhere. Which is kind of neat to go back and see what I looked like when I was a little skinnier. but sometimes I'll go back and look. Oh, you looked really good in 2015. What happened? But anyway, I'm looking forward to being in the church on Sunday. I know it's going to be different, but what I'm looking forward to is getting back to some normalcy. And I think the other thing we're all looking forward to is not having to take the entire sound system outside and bring it back in for church, although we did love doing that. And we're going to try to do some things outside and think outside the box this summer. I'm going to plan with Jim Hammond to have a service down at Fort Belknap as we did a few years ago. Maybe we'll even bring Matt Queen back to preach to us, and maybe have a little church service down there outdoors, so maybe more people will feel comfortable outside. And, there's lots of things we can do. We can still get back up on the trailer from time to time and do a drive-in service, or everybody bring lawn chairs. There's lots of things we can try to do. But what we want to do is one thing at a time. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to meet in here under these circumstances. And then as we get into June, we can talk about things like childcare. We can talk about things, Sunday school, and all these different things we're going to have to start addressing. But let's just do a few things well right now. Let's have Sunday morning church. If your Sunday school class, like Melissa's class, wants to meet at the park and get together and have a Bible study, I want to encourage small groups to get together like that, socially distanced. If you want to have a Zoom meeting, have a Zoom meeting. Personally, I'm done with Zoom meetings. I don't like them anymore. I'm not doing them unless I have to. But we're going to start moving our prayer meeting. We had a prayer meeting last night in the fellowship hall. If you need some Christian fellowship, you want to come to the prayer meeting, we'd love to have you. We had plenty of room, and we had a wonderful time of prayer. So looking forward to what God's going to do this summer. And I know it's different, and I know it's weird, but let's just let the Lord move in this unique way to teach us, to get us out of our routine, and let's just decide that we're going to be a unified church who loves Jesus and who's learning him as we go through these difficult times. So, Dale, would you say our test has been a success? Perfect. Okay, it's been a perfect success. So I'm going to let y'all go now, but I love you. I'm praying for you. Be in prayer about Sunday, that everything goes smoothly, and continue to pray that God will still have mercy on us here in Olney, because we don't have this. We've been spared from having an outbreak here of this coronavirus. So we're thankful to God for that. And we will see you Sunday morning, either in the sanctuary or right here on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you.